Hello class, Mr. Linder here. In this video, I want to show you guys how to use mastering and some of the tips and tricks as you navigate through your mastering access. So now that you're registered for mastering, you can come over to the left-hand side on Canvas and click on My Lab and Mastering. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And when you do so, it brings you to the tab for opening My Lab and Mastering. So we're going to go ahead and open that. And now that you're registered for mastering, it'll bring you to the home page when you log into mastering. So on the home page, one of the things that you can do is you can click on the All Assignments view or Calendar view. I can show you both of them. So if I click on the All Assignments view, it's going to give you a list of your assignments that you will have in mastering. So Lab 1 quiz, homework for Chapter 1, homework for Chapter 2, quiz for Chapter 1, and so forth. If you see a little clock icon, that means that this is a timed assignment. So you will have the day to complete the assignment, but once you start it, you have a limited amount of time to complete it. So for example, for a lab quiz, you would have 20 minutes to complete the lab quiz, but you could start that quiz at 6 a.m. You could start that quiz at 1 in the afternoon. You could start that quiz at 10 o'clock at night, but you only have 20 minutes to complete it on the day that it's due. The other view that you can take a look at is the calendar view. I like the calendar view because it gives me a snapshot of what's happening for the entire month that you're looking at. So here we have Lab 1 quiz. Here's the Chapter 1 homework, the quiz, homework for Chapter 2 quiz, and so forth. And then if you want to change the month, you can just click on the arrow, and that'll take us into the next month. And you can take a look at the other assignments that are going to be upcoming. The other thing to take a look at on the left-hand side of mastering is access to things like your e-text. Okay, so there's a link for your e-text if you purchased mastering with the e-text. There's also access to something called the study area. I want to show you the study area, and then I'll show you a couple of other tricks for getting access to your quizzes and homework. So when you click on the study area, it asks you to launch the study area. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And what you have here is study by chapter. It shows you your e-text again, art labeling activities, practice quizzes, animations and videos, and so forth. You also have interactive physiology. You have something called PAL, which is Practice Anatomy Lab, and there's lots of great activities in there to practice your laboratory work. And then you also have this link right here, which is your access to your PhysioEx virtual labs. So I want to show you that one. So let's click on the PhysioEx virtual labs, because we're going to be doing one of these assignments early in the semester. And then you have this link now to the exercises for PhysioEx. So let's go ahead and click on that link. And it brings up all the PhysioEx labs that you can do for this virtual lab book. We're not going to be doing all of these. We're going to be doing 3 of them from the lab book. And the first one that we're going to be working on is exercise 1, cell transport mechanisms and permeability. Now, right now, all you see is a list of the activities. Activity 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. In order to access the activity and what you're going to do, you just have to click on it. And what it's going to bring up is it's going to bring up the objectives for this particular activity. But what I like to use is this little hamburger icon up here in the left. So you just click on this, and it brings you to a table of contents where you can read the introduction for the activity, but most importantly, it brings you to the tab for actually doing the experiment. So if I click on introduction, I can read about what this first activity is all about. It happens to be on diffusion and moving molecules or ions from a high concentration to low concentration, and I can click next to finish reading about the introduction. And then I can go back to the little hamburger icon and I can select experiment. Once you have the experiment up, you'll notice that you've got some beakers, and then it allows you to move some membranes in between the beakers. So for example, I can drag this 20 molecular weight cutoff membrane in between the two beakers. And what you guys will be doing when you do the PhysioEx is you'll be reading the directions, which it says drag the 20 molecular weight membrane over, and then you'll be clicking next, and then reading the next direction in the lab and doing what it asks. So it asks you to dispense some 9 millimolar concentration of sodium chloride, so I can change the concentration, and then I can dispense that fluid. And then if I click next, it's going to tell me the next procedure in the experiment, which is to put deionized water in the other side of the beaker. And then it asks you to run the diffusion experiment for an hour. So you can click start. It doesn't take an hour because it's a virtual lab. So it's going to count down an hour, and then it's going to tell you what the results actually are. So in these PhysioEx experiments, you're actually doing actual labs. So no diffusion took place on that particular one. And so you'll have to figure out why there was no diffusion with that particular molecular weight cutoff membrane. But these labs allow you to do real world labs, but in a very fast way. So you can get a lot of concepts covered and go through a lot of experimentation without all the glassware and the solutions and so forth. So you can learn the concepts really, really quickly. When you're ready to do another activity, you would want to go back to the tab that has the list of activities, and then you can click on activity number 2, and you can go to the hamburger, and you can select the introduction and read about it, and then you can go to the experiment, and you can do the experiment as it's laid out in the instructions. You may have noticed when I click on the hamburger and you get the table of contents, there are pre-lab quizzes and post-lab quizzes, and even a review sheet. I will not be collecting your pre- and post-lab quizzes and review sheet directly through the activities. What you're going to do is you're going to be doing a mastering assignment that will have questions about the PhysioEx experiment. You'll be answering those through mastering, and that'll be your assessment for doing a PhysioEx experiment. When you're done with this particular activity, again, you can go back and select the 3rd one, and then the 4th one, and then the 5th one, and so forth. So that shows you how to use the PhysioEx that is in your mastering. If we go back, let's see here, if I go back to this page, we can go back to that main study area table of contents, and then you could select other options from here. Maybe you want to work on some practice anatomy lab now, so you go into PAL and you work on that. Maybe you're looking for a particular video on DNA replication. You can go look through the animations and videos and utilize the resources that are available to you. The last thing I want to show you, though, is let's go back to Canvas. So we're on the mastering link page. Let's say you want to do a homework assignment within mastering, and you actually want to do it through Canvas. So the way you can do that is if you click on assignments, it will bring up your list of assignments for the unit that you're working on. And let's say I want to do the chapter 1 mastering homework directly in Canvas. Then all I would have to do is click on that link within Canvas, and it'll pull up the questions directly from mastering, and then I can work on them through Canvas. Okay, so that's a little trick for accessing your homework or quizzes directly through Canvas. Just go to the assignments, click on the assignment you want to work on, and go from there. The other way you can do it is on the home page. I always leave the assignments up on the home page. You can access the assignment the same way. So you can find the assignment you want to work on. Maybe I want to take the quiz on chemistry. So I would go ahead and click on that from the home page, and it'll do the exact same thing. It'll open up the quiz directly in Canvas. You would just click on the first question and start answering them. Another option is when you're in the modules, let's say you're working on the chapter 1 module and you get to the end. And so let's say you're ready to take the laboratory quiz. What I've done is I've placed a link into Canvas. When you click on that link, it's going to take you, it's going to open up mastering for you. It's going to take you to the assignments page. And so here we have the calendar view and all of the assignments. And then you can select which one you wanted to work on. So since that was the lab quiz, you would find the lab quiz, you would click on it and go ahead and take the lab quiz that way. So there's different ways to get access to your mastering quizzes. You can go directly through Canvas, or you can click on links that I've provided for you, and it'll take you to this calendar view or assignments list view. We can just switch to all of the assignments and all the due dates for you, and then you can select the ones that you want. So that's a little bit on how to use mastering and some tips and tricks on how to get access to your quizzes and homework. I hope that helps. Take care. Bye.